Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So coming back again today with the Pun-tastic card toppers. This one is called Birthday Pun. So we've got our little cactus, hope your birthday's on point. We've got popcorn, hope your birthday's popping. Hoppy beer day for your beers, and time to party for your little golf ball with the sneakers on. And I did say I was going to use the accompanying 8x8 pad. So I've picked these two pieces out from there. As you know, I got this as part of the design team work. So these are all loose, so I don't have them in a book form. But these are the ones that I've picked out from that book. So let's just pop that to the side. And I'm going to bring in a piece of a 6x12 cardstock. And I thought I'd go with an inverted stepper on this one. So I'm going to pop it in, and I'm going to pop that up to the 1 inch mark past the cut line. And I want to cut from 1 to 9. And then I'm just going to turn that around and do exactly the same on the other side. So 1 to 9. And then I'm going to use my trimmer just to put these marks in for the score line, because it's harder to do it when it's in the middle. So I want to score at 1, just between those cut lines, at 2, at 4, at 6, and at 9. Okay, and then that just shows me where those marks should be, which means it's just harder. It's easier to find it on the scoreboard, where I can do a nice deep score line. Oops. It's to go just below, so I'll go there. So 1, 2, 4, 6, and then I'll have to turn it around and do it at 3. Okay, and then if I begin to just fold these over like so. Oh, the other thing I've forgotten to do, apologies, is at the 6 inch mark we're going to score on these outside ones, because that's the halfway point of our card. Okay. So let's just try that again. And then we've got our perfect little card blank. I will just give these a burnish down. So those are the halfway points, which is a 6. So score on this side, and then just making sure to go underneath and score those as well, just so that the card sits really nicely and proudly. Okay, so now we just need to do some mats and layers for that. So this one is still gold, yep, still gold. So I'm going to grab some gold mini card. And these pieces here are 1x6. So I'm going to take 2 notches off the one. Sorry if you can hear the ice cream man. A little bit of sun and he's out. And then the one on the other side is going to be the same. So we need another one that's 2 notches under the 1 by 2 notches under the 6. So those are the two side ones. And then this one here is 1 by 4. So if I take 2 notches off the 4 and then take 2 notches off the 1, that piece will fit in the middle there. And then this second step is 2 inches. So I'm going to take 2 notches off that. And that one should fit nicely into there. And then that back one is 3 inches. So we'll take 2 notches off that 3. Okay, so those are our pieces. And then I think we'll go with this one. We'll go with the beer one. So to begin with, I want 2 pieces to go along there, which is going to be 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to want 2 of those. So it's 3/4 of an inch by 5 3/4. And then I'm going to cut this at 3 3/4. And then what I'm going to do is alternate it. So for the first one, which is going to be that 1 inch, we'll go with 3/4 of an inch. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit off the top. There's just a little bit of a white line there, just because mine's not in the pad, that's all. So 3/4 of an inch. That will go on the front. And then we'll turn it over for 1 3/4. And then we'll turn it back over again for 2 3/4. Not that you're going to see a lot of that anyway, because the topper will be on this one at the back. There goes Hens. Okay, so because we're going to be using the paper with this one, I am going to be using the dotty tape pen. So let's get these pieces stuck on. And this background, I think it is supposed to be like rubble dirt sort of background. It seems quite similar to the one that they did for the sporting decoupage recently. In the little book in there, there was like a trail biker, and the background on the trail path scenario or scenery, just get this in the right place, had this sort of rubbly sort of pattern on the back. It'll be a little bit difficult, but we will get there. Just needs to go over a little to the left. Okay, happy with that. Yeah, so it seems a bit like that sort of background, but it fits in quite well with this beer as well. It kind of looks a bit like there's sometimes when you stare and look into your beer. Sorry about Henry. The across the way, there's quite a bit across the way, but you know what he's like. They are doing their back garden, patio, whatever. I'm assuming it's patio because patio slabs was out there the other day. But all week they've been having deliveries. Like day one it was skips, and then they had a mechanical digger out thing. And they were driving that back and forth, so he didn't like that much. And then they had a load of rubble and topsoil delivered, so then they were using their little mechanical thing to carry that backwards and forwards. And today they've had I think it's paving slabs delivered. So it's just quite noisy, the little trucky thing they drive, which his nibs does not like, disturbing his peace. Henry, come on now. I'll go with that, it's not perfect. That will do on there. And then Henry, come on now, you have to go in your cage. It's not going to go away just because you're barking at it. Oh no, the neighbour's dog's at it. That's not going to help matters. We've got a little boxer type dog. I think I've spoken about him before. Okay, so now we've got all of these on here, what we can do is start to pop these on. I'm going to have to go and do something about him. Hang on just a second, let me just pop this one out and then I'll go and sort him out. So I've just used the tacky glue on there. Tacky glue and all purpose. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so I've shut the kitchen window, so hopefully that should drown out the noise a little bit. Apologies for the barking. He usually does have something to pipe up and say in these things, but there's quite a lot of barking for him. Okay, so popping that on like so. And then just laying all these on. And the only problem with this card is there's not really very much room to sort of write a greeting. That's the only thing. It looks nice and it's great for certain toppers and things, but really all you get is that little space there, which sometimes if it's a fella's card, that's all they need, isn't it? Because they don't really like a lot of sentiment so much behind it, or in it, should I say. So let's just pop that one in, and that's where we're at the moment. So let's bring in our beer. We want our happy beer day or hoppy beer day, and I also want this. Which one shall I have? I'm going to go with this one above it. So all of these have got lovely borders on. Let's just bring in a little trimmer, and I'm going to go all the way across the card on this one, so I want it to be 5 3/4. There we go. So I am going to pop some pads on. Let's just stand that up before that starts leaking. So I'm just going to cut these 1mm ones in half. Oops. Okay, so let's pop this along here. So oops. Smaller pads are a little harder to get the tops off. I think it's just because it's a smaller space to sort of grab them. Let's pop some tacky glue on. Just need to go just a little further over, I think. There we go. And then this one I'm going to have just come in just slightly above it, but not really. So let's grab some 2mm foam pads for this one. Turn that around a little bit. Just literally coming over the top, so it's just really just edging into that next piece. And then this one, I think I'm just going to go with 1mm pads. I think I might get away with 2 rows. Let me just, yeah, I think so. So I just want to put enough on so that it gives a nice amount of support on there. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Just need to get these backs off, and then it'll just be a question of, do I want to put some gems on? I think I might put some like black pearls on, or we could go with gold gems, because gold gems don't really look wrong on a man's card. Although this could be for a girl as well. Let's turn this round so I can see. I don't want to squash it down. Go there. Yep, that's fine. So something's not quite straight, so I'm just trying to work out what it is. So it must be this topper slightly on the wonk. Let's just grab it. No, that is definitely more on the wonk. Let's take the whole thing off. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. Just grab a little bit of tissue. I mean, just a little bit, just to buff off that glue. Okay, that's better now. I can see that that is a little better. So let's go with some gold ones. I think it's just going to pick up those sides quite nicely. And I'm going to pop 3 on this side. Do you want some sort of smaller ones, I think? And then I'm going to go with a bigger one and a smaller one on that side. So let's pop. So So there is a bit of glue around there, but it will dry clear, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Now, just because I feel that there is something a little missing down on this front, I'm going to grab one of these sentiment pads. Not that one because that's fantastic. Let's go with this one. We could go with black. Grandson, husband. Don't think one. Let's see if there's some general ones. Might be towards the back. Let's have a look. Be graduation with love. You always nick the good ones out of here first, don't you? I've got a happy birthday here. This will shoot quite nicely. And I'm going to just use a little bit of tacky glue. And I want that sort of going up like so. And then if I grab those gems back, I can come in, flip that hole with glue. Oops. And there. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. It will be 6, which is more like an odd really, but I will leave it at that. But I didn't want to put a bow on it. Wanted to keep it quite masculine. But that is that first card. Quick and easy, hardly any decoration to do on it really, and perfect for these smaller, I think they're 4x4 toppers. So I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I am going to be making just a normal gatefold. You know how I like to do my off-centre one, but I thought I would do a nice little normal one. There go more wobblers. So there's just a little bit of mark on my cardstock, so I'm just going to use, let's put it in here, see if that's better. It does not want to come out. Is coming, but very slowly. There we go, got it. Don't know where that came from, but it will be on the back of the card, so I didn't want it to show. So what I'm going to do, just because this is going to be a gatefold, so I'm going to score at 3, and then I'm going to turn it around and do the same on the other side. This could just as easily be an off-centre gatefold, if you prefer. I just thought, I haven't done a normal gatefold for forever really, very long time, so it'd be nice to do that. And also because today I got a delivery of my trim meat insert pad, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to use it on the inside of here. Okay, so we need to decorate the inside. So we're going to need 2 gold mirror mats, one for the front, one for the back. Oh no, one for the inside, one for the outside. So the inside is just going to be 2 notches under the 6. Actually, I might need another insert, but we'll come to that in a minute. That is just going to take a tiny bit more off that side. So it's 3 notches and 2 notches on this one, just because it was hitting that score line and I didn't want it to do that. And then I'm going to be using the little golf guy, so I thought I would use the "Today is your birthday, so celebrate in style, have fun, creating memories to look back and on smile." Look back and smile. So what it's, there we go. And this is with the gold foiling to match. And then we just need to do the lines for 6 by 6. And this cuts quite well in the trimmer, as long as your blade isn't too fluffy. And if you're a Diamond member at the minute, you can get the blades are on Diamond deals, I believe, if you do need some. This is a Stampin' Up trimmer, but it's actually Hunkydory blades in it. Now I might need to take another little bit off that, because we did take that extra bit off, didn't we? And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to risk taking such a small bit off in here. A little guillotine is the best thing for just taking a tiny little bit off. Sometimes when I try and take a little bit off on here, it fluffs up the edge, kind of folds it over rather than cuts it, and that's not a great look. So if you cut that to the size it says, it should fit on the inside of your card. So that's going to be the inside, looking quite posh. So let's take another piece of gold mirror card. I'm going to cut it to 2 notches under 6, because that's the length, and then we can turn that around and cut 2 pieces that are 2 notches under the 3. And I'll just check those fit quite nicely. They should do. Yep. And then for this one, I'm going to use our checkered flag. So let's take it to 2. Actually, I'm going to go from this end. Yeah, 2 3/4. 2 3/4. And then 5 3/4. Okay, so that's the card decoration sorted. Now, what I also wanted to do, let me just pop out my little golfer and his time to party. I think these are 4x4. Oh no, they're not. They're way under that. Let's have a look. So it's 3.5 plus 1. 3.5 plus 1. And what I wanted to do, just because I kind of felt that it stands out, but I just wanted to add a little bit more into it. So I wanted to do a matte layer for it, and I want to do this in the yellow, which matches pretty much the flagpole. I would have liked a red, but I haven't got any red adorable scoreable. So this was 3.5 plus 1. So let's go to 2 notches under the 4. And this I could be embossing, anything like that, just to add a bit more in. But I do want to just leave that as a sort of a framing device, really. That's what that's doing. So let me grab another mirror mat. And this one needs to be 4x4. And then that should fit onto there quite nicely. Okay, yep, happy with that. So now we have all of our pieces we can start and assemble. So let's start with the inside. So for the mirror card, I'm using the tacky glue and the all-purpose glue. This is Cloud. The construction glue by Hunkydory is very, you know, it's the same sort of glue as that all-purpose. You could just use your tape pens if you prefer. I've got a feeling I've got that the wrong way around. Yep, much better, I think. Let's just check that. I don't have it now. No, we're good, we're good. Okay, and then this, with it being paper, I don't like to use the tacky glue on it, but I do like to use my dotty tape pen and the all-purpose glue. So it just means I can still manoeuvre that into place, and then those dots will hold that down while the all-purpose glue goes off. So find where you're happy, press everything down, and you can really feel the text on that foil. It's really gorgeous. That is the inside all done. What I will do is just close those again. And same thing for the mirror card. We'll use the tacky glue and the all-purpose. And then for the paper, we'll use our dotty tape pen and the all-purpose. Should be able to just float that into place. No, that's stuck there, come on. There we go, that's going to be fine. And then we can turn it around and do the same on the other side. Tape pen. Okay, so that's what we've got our looking like at the moment. This one, just going to go flat into the gold. And then my thinking was to have that up there, and then our time to party at the bottom. I think that's going to work quite nicely. So let's put some 1mm foam pad on here. Let's lift that up. And just going around taking all these off like we normally do. Good job I've got a nail, because the tops curl under on these a little bit. It makes them a little bit harder to get off. Right then, my little golf buddy, let's pop you on. Oops. Yep, I'll keep with that. And then I'm going to want some, let's go with 1mm again. What I'm going to do is pop that one there. Just going to pop one row down this side. Just sharing things on Facebook. Okay, so like I say, I want this quite high up, so I'm going to go up there. I think that's going to be okay. And then this one we'll use the 2mm pads on. And two party. Shall I put these on the other side? Sometimes it's nice to have them open in different ways. There we go. Like so. And then I think rather than having, we could go with black. I think they might get a little bit lost on there. But I have got some white towels, which I kind of think look a bit golf ball-y. Now I have to remember this is the top, isn't it? And to write on the top of there, which is the top. But let's go with, let's see. See, these don't really show up very well either. No, I don't like those because they're not showing up. Maybe we'll go with the gold then. Let's try the gold then. Yeah, definitely better with the gold. And I'm just going to go with a 4 on there. So this is an evens day. Both the cards have even gems on. Doesn't happen very often. But hey ho. There we go. Okay, and that is going to be that one finished. So it opens, try not to move those gems like so. Closes up quite nicely together. So that's that little gatefold. Those gems need to be moved about a little bit, but don't want to fuss with them too much. So let's bring in that first card as well. So we've got our Hoppy Beer Day with that inverted stepper, I believe it's called, and the gatefold. So that's the 2 cards for today. As it stands at the moment, it looks like I'm probably going to be coming back with this kit again, which is not a bad thing because I do want to use some more of it up. It's such a big kit. I know I've said it before. It's great to be able to give you more inspiration with it. Although if you are stuck, don't forget Hunkydory Gallery, Hunkydory's Pinterest, a lot of the Facebook groups myself and the other design team members post into, and they're all super talented guys. So you know, there's loads of inspiration out there for all of these toppers, I believe. But that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.